نرجع لحديثنا مشاهدينا بفاملي مع ضيوفنا. برحب مرة جديدة بالدكتور نعيم أسود. أهلا وسهلا فيك دكتور أسود. And I would like to welcome also Mr. Anthony Phillips, the owner of Welcome. It's a British company which specializes in wellness, especially in the workplace. Today we're going to talk about wellness in general as an introduction to our Lebanese viewers. Tell us about wellness, the concept of wellness, not only worldwide, but also how we can apply it here in Lebanon, Mr. Phillips.
Well, wellness is about helping an individual understand that both physically and mentally how well they are, but not just in the workplace or outside of the workplace, but looking at their whole life. So it's enabling an individual to understand how they can cope with life and flourish and live a longer life and more active. And during that life that they can perform really well at work and also enjoy life when they finish work and go home. So that the win-win for the employer is that by investing in the wellness of the individual at work, they're going to gain higher productivity, so maybe better customer service from a bank, better quality, getting things right first time, enabling an individual to perform even better, because the wellness of the individual is for many organizations, the largest untapped area of performance improvement.
Mr. Phillips, we've been hearing a lot about the concept of wellness here in Lebanon in the past few years. I know it's been around a lot more worldwide. Why has it taken so much success in the past few years?
Well, many organizations who've invested in the human resource and the businesses are asking, well, what do we do next? So we call their approach a 2D approach. So they're using the disciplines of human resource and business to make improvements. What we've partnering organisations around the world and even governments is to move to 3D. So 3D is about the wellness of people, the business and HR fused into one discipline. So we call that 3D business transformation, and it's summed up by the equation: well people, well managed equals a well organisation.
And how does it differentiate from the 2D version?
So it adds the third discipline of wellness, so to make it into 3 disciplines. So health, HR and business. Okay. And then we fused them into one discipline. So we look at not only by investing in the wellness to improve performance, we can help organizations understand the interrelations and take smarter decisions. So a manager, for example, looking at a bank, for example, their performance, can look at all aspects. How well are the people in the bank?
Yes.
How are they managed and how are they motivated? And by looking at those interrelations can make a better decision on how to improve performance.
Mr. Phillips, you're the owner of a British company called Welcome. Yes. Give us an idea of what it specializes in.
Well, we help organizations move from then 2D to 3D, so the 3-disciplined approach. So we partner organizations to
Now the 3D approach is something that you, or Welcome as a company, specialize in.
Yeah, that's our model around the world.
Yes.
We're global leaders in that because we have developed the tools and the techniques under the wellness area, so the software to enable individuals to explore how well they are, and then to provide the management information to be able to provide insights to the leadership team about how well their people are, and then to enable leaders to be developed to start to think in this 3D interdisciplined way.
دكتور أسود، حضرتك وزوجتك زينة أسود بنوجه لها تحية إذا عم تحضرنا اليوم. دعيتوا سيد فيليبس على لبنان حتى يشاركنا خبرته. أنتم كمان متخصصين بمجال الويلنس هون بلبنان. مزبوط. ليش قدمتوا له الدعوة؟
نفس السبب اللي كان عم يحكي عنه مستر فيليبس. الويلنس بالطب من 10 سنين لهلا the idea بالميديسن انه بدنا نعالج، بدنا it went from treatment ل prevention.
نعم. بدها تكون طريقة حياة.
بدها تكون طريقة حياة. والويلنس most of the people اللي بيشتغلوا بالويلنس they focus على الويلنس مثلا بقلب البيت، على العافية والصحة عن الإنسان بالنسبة لصحته، بالنسبة للأمراض، بالنسبة لعائلته. نعم. هلا اجى الموديل تبع ويلكم وي ديسكاست مع مستر فيليبس انه اتس نوت جاست اباوت الهيلث ات هوم،
نقدر نطبق هالشيء بمكان
العمل. فالكونسبت تبع ال 3 دي was fantastic، لانه most of the people اللي بيجوا لعندي مثلا انا شو بيشكوا لي، ان كان اوجاع او هموم خاصه بالشغل او خاصه بالبرودكتيفيتي تبعهم انه يقدروا يعملوا شيء. ما في كثير ناس بيقول حكيم ما عندي وقت كون ساخن، بدك تصححني هلا لانه بدي ارجع اروح على الشغل.
صحيح.
او عندي هموم كثير او عندي ضغط او وات ايفر. سو اجى كونسبت الويلنس، بتعرفي انه زينا الويلنس كوتش بعدين ثرو ميديسن.
نعم.
وي انتجريتد اول اوف ذس وال 3 دي
يعني
موديل.
هالعناصر كلها بتشتغل ايد بايد
ابدا
تحصل على النتيجه المطلوبه.
ما فيك تفصلي الانسان من عائلته وصحته وبيئته وشغله. كان من قبل ذا مودلز انه اوكي الانسان انا بشوف الحكيم او مثلا او بشوف الدايتيشن او الويلنس كوتش بس ما خصنا بشغله او ما شو اسمه the other aspects of his life we don't know anything. ف the 3D approach combines all of this. Inside work, outside work, as Mr. Phillips will also tell you.
Mr. Phillips, we talked about why we should invest in wellness on a personal level. Today we want to concentrate a little about how we should invest in wellness at the workplace.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important for an employer to enable an individual to have an opportunity to explore how well they are. And we have a vision that every employee, in fact every citizen, could have an online personal wellness account. So this is a private and confidential account which they manage themselves. Through that account they have access to a software which provides a map of how well they are.
This is a new approach to wellness.
Yeah. And the software then provides highly personalised advice on what they can do with immediate access to resources. So we've shown that we're able statistically to change people's behaviour, to enable them to have a better quality of performance, lower absence, lower presenteeism, so they come to work more often, more well.
And most importantly, it increases productivity.
Yeah.
At the workplace.
The productivity differences between somebody who's really well, someone we call a brand ambassador, versus a brand diminisher or a brand destroyer, the differences in productivity are about 40 to 60% or more. And generally, every, for example, dollar that is invested in our approach will generate a return of maybe $5 or even $10. So a 10 to 1 return
it's definitely worth it.
Is probably, for many businesses now, there are almost no other opportunities to get that level of return.
Are there many work opportunities for people who want to go into wellness coaching?
I think that if you look at the opportunities now, that wellness coaching will be even bigger than the growth of executive coaching and life coaching, because now we're seeing that the same philosophy of performance in the workplace is expanding into some of our clients around the world are asking how can we help
it's being adopted in many fields, many different fields around the world.
Exactly. In, for example, pupils in schools where we've been working.
Education.
With the teachers and other people working in schools have had a lot of success. And now the question is how can we help students effectively study, so gain a higher level of performance in study, and also develop the life habits to help them live actively and become more employable in the workplace. And so we're developing then the solutions for a total school or a total university. And in Lebanon, we're looking to implement a total school or a total university wellness approach.
We talked about how we're using technology to spread the concept of wellness. Are there any other new approaches that you're using?
Well, what's interesting is that the social media is really changing how things are done. And one of our partners, Havis Media, has been doing research around the meaningful brand. And this is about what people expect from the brand, and people are expecting more about how do you make a difference in the quality of life and the wellness of me as an individual.
Give us an example, Anthony. How can one specific brand improve its image from the idea of wellness?
If you look at financial sector, the banks, for example, banks in many countries often have had some bad publicity. So, for example, they've been selling credit cards on campuses to students, and students get into debt. And what we're seeing is that why not help students take a holistic approach about personal wellness, which includes managing finance. And for example, banks could help fund investments in personal wellness accounts, so they're not just seen as wanting to take money from an individual, they're helping that individual to grow. And that the advantage for the bank is not only are they doing something of social value, but that person could become a lifetime customer for the bank. And I think that's a really good opportunity to try to change the perception, for example, of what banks are about.
So when we incorporate the concept of wellness into the workplace, it's proven that we have more productivity.
Yes.
How does it reflect on their personal life and their family life? They take it back home with them?
Yes, it's very interesting because not only are they able to perform with higher energy in the workplace, but when they go home, we've had examples where people have gone home, they have more energy to play with their children.
In all simplicity, they feel better about themselves because they're doing so much more at work with less stress.
And they learnt techniques which help them cope with life as well outside of work. So they can have more energy, as I said, to play with children, or even things like mentally stay positive to even pass their driving test, or pass an exam, so they not become nervous. They learn to manage their mind and think more positively. So it's a life skill we see.
So it's an investment where it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. We see around the world, like for example, we promote now a fourth life skill, personal wellness management. So you have reading and writing, learning to use computers, and learning to manage your personal wellness. And having those four life skills, you set yourself up for a long, successful life and a productive life. And when you study well, and when you go to work, you work well. So it's a win-win for everybody.
دكتور أسود، بلشنا نحكي ببرنامجنا عن لايف اند ويلنس كوتشنج يمكن من حوالي سنة ونص سنتين. كان الموضوع جديد إذا بدك على المشاهدين، البعض استغرب بعد سنتين وبعرف إنه موجود عدة سنوات هون بلبنان، كيف الإقبال عليه؟ يعني بعرف كانوا المشاهدين يلجأوا ل سايكولوجيست أو سايكايتريست حتى يحلوا مشاكلهم، اليوم عم بيصير في إقبال أكثر على لايف اند ويلنس كوتشز؟
إيه، هلا بعده الكونسبت بالنسبة لهم جديد، بعدهم لما يجوا على
ما عم بيقدروا يفرقوا بين الاختصاصين.
بالنسبة لهم في كثير بيعتبروا الويلنس كوتش as a psychologist or a psychiatrist, which is not the case. بس الاندرستاندينج صار احسن، الابريشيشن صار احسن، وبعدين الابيليتي انه واحد يوثق بهالريالم الجديد اذا بدك صار اكثر. واتس فاني لانه صرنا قد ايه صار له الانسان على وجه الارض، ما في مره اجى حدا قال لنا اوكي تعمل الماكسيموم اللي انت فيك تعمله. You have to first know who you are, بعدين how to maximize your potential. We've lived thousands of years without knowing this. هلا اجى this wellness approach that taps into your potential. بيعلمك انه ما في شيء غلط. Whatever your potential is, we will use it, we will maximize it. ومنطلع منك the maximum. So الإقبال صار أحسن أكيد، بس بعد في عنا مجالات كتير لنتطور.
Mr. Phillips, in your opinion, what is the future vision of wellness, either globally or here in Lebanon?
Well, we see that governments, businesses will move to a 3D way of working, so they will adopt a three-disciplined approach. So decisions about operationally and strategically for the business will be based on looking at how does it impact on the wellness of people and the HR and the business combined. There's a vision that in Lebanon that people could have an online personal wellness account, any citizen, to help them manage positively the wellness of in a private and confidential way, have access to a network of local coaches, wellness coaches in Lebanon, and that the brands in Lebanon are also seen to be making a difference, so become more meaningful. And that gives them the opportunity not only to become more productive, but maybe an opportunity for competitive advantage to grow in other markets, particularly in the Middle East, but even worldwide.
Mr. Phillips, you are here in Lebanon to meet with several major companies, and hopefully they will take advantage of what you and your company Welcome has to offer. We welcome you at our studios and we hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
شكرا لك دكتور أسود، تحياتنا لزينة.
Thank you.
وقفة جديدة مشاهدينا ومنتابع ما تبقى من حلقتنا.